Hello and welcome to episode 6 of our RPG tutorials. Today we are going to do the setup for the basic character screen pipeline. Character screen is going to take me a few episodes to get everything in that I want. I realized that as I was making the prompt for this episode. So I think today we're going to go as far as getting it to where we can deliver a basic packet to a new game. We won't deliver it to a new game, but we'll be able to choose our class and skin. So to do that, first we're going to update and upgrade our arrow selector class. We're going to allow it to take in images. We're also going to modernize it to where it doesn't require you to pass everything into draw. After which case we will create arrow selectors for class and skin. Then we will set up the character packet, or the new character packet. I forget exactly what I called it. I think I just called it character packet. So I labeled it correctly here. And that's just a class, and you'll see it's just it's a packet full of the information that we're going to create in the character screen, which for today will be class and skin. And then we're gonna put it all together. We're gonna make sure that it's hooked all the way as far as we have made so far, hooked in completely. The next episode we will focus on creating the base classes for hero and the classes which will be mage and warrior to start with. We will, I hope, I'll have to see how long each one takes me, but I hope to get through doing selectors for your attributes, because that's going to be a bit important. I'm big on that kind of stuff. I like depth in my games, so that should be the next episode. I think between those two things will probably take an entire episode, and then we will work on passing that to a new game and potentially saving. Now, potentially that will be a fourth episode, but we'll see how long it takes me. I'm trying to keep these to between 20 and 30 minutes each so that they're not crazy long. But that is the goal. That's where I'm at. That's what I think is going to happen. Look, if you guys can do me a favor and take, 2 seconds to smash that like button and 10 seconds to write a quick comment, that would be huge for me. I'm really trying to push on getting this channel to resurrect itself a bit. It would go a long way to get a little bit of interaction from you guys. I am currently responding to everything that comes in again, so if you comment and it's even looks like it might be directed to me, I will be responding. I'm trying to get back into it, guys. I really am. If you can't tell, I'm making a serious effort towards this again, so I'm really glad to be getting into the meat and potatoes of a new piece / project, and just some quick interaction would be great. If you have anybody to share this with, please do. Some people really get a lot out of this series, and I definitely want people that would be interested in it to hear about it. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. I'm actually going to start with our arrow selector. And so we have already created arrow selector. So if you don't have this, it's in the engine, and it's in form. It's right here. And this is our arrow selector class. The way this class works is there's a button for a right arrow and a button for a left arrow, and it moves back and forth based on the iterations of the form options. We did this in the previous tutorials. You're welcome to go and check that all out. I'm not going to go over every little tiny thing there, but what I am going to do is we're going to upgrade this thing. So first things first, you'll see down in our draw, we have these two things, and we're going to get rid of both of them. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of sprite font, and then what you'll see is that this has a parent class. So we're going to go to the parent class, go to definition. So what I did is I right clicked and I went to go to definition. Sometimes I just work through things too quickly. I apologize, but I will try to go through each one. And so in form option, form part, give me a second, let me grab that. Form part, go to definition. Okay, we are going to add that font into here. So we're going to take sprite font, and we're going to put it in right there. So this is just public sprite font. I probably shouldn't have copy pasted that, but I did anyway. It's pretty quick to type. Public sprite font. Easy peasy. Okay, and then we're going to add a parameter here. I always leave my pass objects last, so I'm going to add it right before that. If you wanted to know why I did that, that's why I'm doing that. So this is a font, and then in here we're going to say font equals font. Okay, and then when we come down here, now we can delete this straight out of here. That will create issues. I'm also just going to delete the offset. So I guess what we'll do here is we will say, let me see if we pass back to base update or not here. Where's my arrow selector? I don't have it up yet. There it is. We're going to pin it so I don't lose it. Okay, so I come in here, my update does not pass it back, so we're not going to worry about it there, but we will say in FormPart, we're going to say vector2, and it's going to be update offset, which is the exact same name as we have in basic 2D. You could do this all as a basic 2D, but we didn't here, and I'm not going to go that far. We didn't. And so now when we come back to arrow selector, notice it doesn't like our draw function. Of course it doesn't, because it can't override stuff that we took the parameters out of. And that's fine. So this is everywhere it says offset, we'll say update offset. I'll just copy that, paste it in. That looks like all of it. And everywhere it says capital font, we're just going to type lowercase font because it's now a part of our class. We're going to put that in, put it in. Let's see, what do we not like? Oh, we need to know about our font. So sprite font. And notice how I don't have all this memorized, right? I'm just reacting to what comes up in my error list. And I know when I build right now, it's going to error more things because there are more form parts out there that no longer have a draw function that they can go for. Okay, so we want to take these out. This is a checkbox, for instance. And then update offset. Offset font. So basically I'm just assuming everything is correct here, and I'm just switching out the variables that are analogous. And then same thing here, we need sprite font and font. Okay, let's build again, make sure that we have this all dealt with. We'll just keep building until it decides that we've made it as far as we can go. Okay, so now it's the actual declaration. So we know it's this second to last bit here, and we need a sprite font. Give me a second. I'm going to grab a spot. I'm pretty sure we have the fonts, right? We totally have the fonts. We do. There they are. Okay, so fonts we have. So let's type out what it takes to fill this in. So it's globals.content.load sprite font, and then the other alligator bracket. The IntelliSense is getting both smarter and more annoying. I actually don't like how much it adds these days, but I may or may not turn that off. It's going to be an individual preference kind of thing, but I'm not used to it. I've been at this for a long time, and I don't really like it telling me what to do, even when it's right like 80% of the time. It just, I don't know, call me old school. Maybe newer school people will get used to it. But all right, so this is how we're declaring our font. We're just declaring it at Arial 16. There's obviously other fonts in here you can use. You can create your own, blah blah blah. But we have that. Here's an arrow selector. We know it's the second to last. Oops. Oh, I didn't copy it properly. Let's try that back again. Copy, paste. Yay. Okay. And then here, okay, let's see, draw takes does not take 2 elements. Is right, it doesn't. Let's get rid of that. Okay, what else? Let's build again. Sweet. Okay, so that was successful. So now our arrow selector has been modernized, and when I say modernized, it's just simpler to use. I really prefer it that way. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to modernize it by updating our form options to be able to take in images. So go to definition on our form option, and then we're going to declare a public animated 2D image, img, and then we are going to create a second constructor that takes in an image. So here we're going to pass in a animated 2D, and here we're going to say img equals img. The other thing we need to do is we need to set the other image to null. So img equals null up here, because this one doesn't take in an image. This one does. We need to have it as a known value. Setting things to null, you can test them for null nicely. If you don't know what they are, it's hard to test for them. So for me, I try to set things up so that I know what they are. One second, let me get a drink. And so in this case, we set the image to null so that now I can test for null if I need to. And you'll see me do that in a minute. So okay, so now we have images that we can totally create into our form options. So we can have text, we can have images, we can have value. These are good things. In our arrow selector, you'll see that we have add option, and it just takes in a whole form option. So we'll be able to pass in a form option created with that constructor if we so choose. That's a big deal, and you'll see that in a minute. But the next thing we want to do is we want to come down and we need to decide what we're drawing. Are we drawing the string or are we drawing the image? So the way we're going to decide that is we're going to say if we're actually going to do it this way, else. I hate that. There we go. Ugh. See, this is where I mean. See, like, I don't like that. Like, that drives me nuts that it puts in that second bracket, and I have not figured out how to get it to stop doing that with this version of Visual Studios. There's that wonderful phone again. It just really likes to get going. Get rid of that. Okay. All right, so the else is going to be drawing the string. So what does that mean? That means the if is testing if the image is not equal to null. So image, what image? Oh, well, it's the image that's in here, right? So img not equal null. Okay, and then here we're going to draw that image, right? So what image? This image. And we're going to say dot draw. Boom. And then that is fine. If you want to update that, you can leave it this way. In this case, we're not actually going to be updating our option. So because of that, we're going to use our old draw function, which allows us to draw in a specific location, just like it used to. We never lost that functionality. It's just that we don't have to always use it. But this shows that small percentage of the time where you still do want that ability. And here it is. We're going to use that. Okay, so this now will either draw an image or a piece of text in between the two arrows for us to toggle between. Or swap between. Toggle typically is two options. But anyway, that sets up our arrow selector. The next thing we want to do is we want to come into our character screen, pin it, put it here so it's nice and easy to find. And then what we're going to do is we're going to declare some of these arrow selectors. And we do those above the lists. And pass objects are supposed to go last. So I did this wrong. Let's fix this so that I'm doing it according to, so it's normal variables in general order of least complex to most complex, then lists, then pass objects. So why? So I can see things and find things. The more organized you are, the easier it is to read your code. So just keep that in mind. May sound stupid or that I'm being anal. I'm not. I tried for a long time to not be organized because naturally, I'm not a very organized person. And all it did was continue to bite me in the rear quarters regularly. And so I have been forced to be more organized. So whereas it seems like I'm being ridiculous, I'm not. Keeping these in order helps you to see them in an instant when you look up at your parameters. You know where things are supposed to be. Like if you see lists, you're like, no, it should be above that. And if you see like ints and stuff at the top, it's got to be below that, right? Like it makes it much easier to find what you're doing. So I can't stress enough how much being organized is important, even though in my younger years I really did not agree with that statement. All right, class selector, we got to create one. So equals new arrow selector. And in arrow selector, we are going to have a position, which is 0, 0. Dems, new vector 2. I don't know, I have to think about those ones for a second. Class is its name. And then we need to create that font. That was like in options or something. There it is. Paying attention to where you do things, super important. Okay, we'll copy paste that because I don't want to type it all the time. Put in our font, and then we need class change. Okay, we need to create that. So here we go, public virtual void class change object info. And then, oh, that's not right. Okay, and then we're going to also have skin change. So public virtual void skin. You know what? I'm going to rename these because I want them to be next to each other. And since they're supposed to be alphabetical, other than update and draw, those are my two exceptions. If we say change class and change skin, then they stay next to each other. So happy days. We like that. I know the words are backwards maybe from how you would say in English sometimes, but object info. Okay. Cool. We'll get back to these in a second. It's no longer class change, it's change class. So let's fix that. Okay. And then here we need to declare some pieces of our class selector. So we're going to say class selector dot add option. There it is. And options are new form option. And for class, we're just going to do text. So we'll show the different ways of doing this. We'll do text and we'll do images. So one sec. Okay. We have warrior, and then its value is also going to be warrior. We may change that later, but that's what we have. So let's copy paste this. And then we have mage. Cool. Arrow selector 1 created. Let's do our second one, which is our skin one. So we're just going to copy paste this to start with. Skin. Copy paste that. Whoops. There we go. And here we're going to say skin. 1 in because, yeah. And then change skin. Cool. That's not right. Should just copy paste in the first place instead of typing. All right, now we're not going to do warrior and mage here. We're going to do IDs for these for now. This may change. I haven't really decided exactly what to do with this, but we will have 3 of them. And we need to grab those. Give me just a second. 2D units, heroes. So this is the stuff. I'll bring it right back in a second. Let's put it together here. 2D units. Heroes. Them guys. Oops. That was dumb. Okay, grab those. Throw them in heroes. Content. Copy of newer. And don't forget your Android project. There it is, 2D. Units. Heroes. Put those in there. Android asset. Copy of newer. All right, sweet. We did that. We're actually going to do one more set of stuffs real quick, so we don't forget. We got a whole lot of MISC stuff, so we're going to do that real fast. So, oh, we did that here. Did I do that? Oh, I already totally did that. Ha! Smart. Okay, never mind. We got all that. We're going to need that stuff. So, good. Happy days. So we have that. Now, on our form option here, we need to fill those in. So if you see, we have a circle, a square, and a triangle. And we're going to put them, oh, you know, we didn't do size. Let me figure out what those are. We probably want it to be, I don't know, 200. Let's try that. 250 tall. So this is going to just denote the size of the buttons also. So the buttons are as high as the height of this structure is. So the button should be 50-50. I think they're squares at that point, if I remember right. I may not be 100% correct, but that puts me at, gives me 100 pixels in between the two buttons, so that's good. I like that. Let's go with that. And then, yeah, do the same thing here. See how that looks. Okay. In here, we need to declare a new animated 2D, right? Because that's what we did. We have the path. We'll get to that in a second. New vector 2 for the position is just 0, 0. See, I don't like that it keeps popping up that thing. So it's really distracting for me. Only telling sense, but I haven't decided if I want to get rid of it yet. I try hard to get used to regular things. Okay, so we're going to declare our image a little bit bigger than our buttons, height-wise and centered-wise. You know, we have 100 in the middle, so 64 is fine. We went a little bit bigger so we can have a bigger image, even though that is theoretically outside of our bounds, but it doesn't matter. Our programming doesn't seem to care about that, so that's fine. We have just a single frame per, and then the color is color dot white, so it doesn't change the color of it. Okay, so this is 2D units heroes yeah, that's fine. 2D units heroes. What's the first one we want people to see? The triangle, the square, or the circle? Maybe the triangle. Let's go with the try. Okay, and then we're going to take this guy. We're going to copy him. We're going to paste them into these two. And all we have to switch out is triangle for square and triangle for circle. Okay. So that does that. We have these. These are good. I think they look good. The next thing we got to do is we got to go down and we have to add in the updates for these. So we have class selector dot update. I don't like that it does that because I have to constantly change things. I'm just going to keep complaining about this. I apologize. But, all right, global, whoa. Yeah, globals, we want to put them in the middle of the screen for now. We can change them around later, so screen width over 2. And then height-wise, I don't know. Nah, 200 seems to be my go-to right now. I don't know exactly why that is my go-to, but it seems to be. We're going to copy-paste this. Where it is now the skin selector. That's in a game somewhere. Okay. How big of a difference do we want this to be? Well, we know the tallest part is 64, so maybe we go 80, so we have a decent amount of space. Okay. skin selector's in. Next we have the draws to do. So class selector dot draw skin. So theoretically you push tab, and it's all good. But I don't know. Anyway. Okay, this should draw everything. Everything should be in for our purposes, and then we got to do the packet. So let's test this. Make sure that we're in the right spot here. Make sure our arrow selectors are working. We don't get too far in without testing. Here we go. Play. Ooh, that is not where I wanted those. So let's figure out what we did wrong. Oh, I know what we did wrong. Aha, I totally know what we did wrong. Here. Let's do this right. Let's put it here. We're going to put update offset equals offset. And then in arrow selector, we're going to have to go through and do all these though. I didn't do this right in the prompt. I got lazy. So bear with me for a second as I fumble through this for a second. We're going to do base.update offset. And then every one of those needs redone. So checkbox. Oh, it's just one thing. That's not so bad. Same thing here. Base dot. Sweet. Okay. Happy days. That should do that. That should fix it. Let's try that again. Play. There we go. And we can swap between those two. Clicking a million times doesn't do anything. It stops at the end. We got those. Yay, happy days. Those are our skins. I know, super simple. I'm not going crazy on the art. It's just getting it to work, right? It's not about perfect art. You guys can do your perfect art. Your perfect art is different than my perfect art. You do you. That's something I really can't help you too much with. Alright, so that all works. That's good. That's what we want. The next thing we need to do is create the packet. The packet's job is to pass all of the information from this screen into a new game. It also could be used for loading and all kinds of stuff. But in this case, for right now, what we're using it for is passing the information from this screen. And not having to use a global for the screen itself in order to get to the information. Which is not the end of the world if you choose to go that route. It's just it's slightly worse. It's spaghetti-ish, we'll call it. Alright, so this is the new character screen. The folder then would be new character screen. Typically, I put the stuff I need for this class in a folder right next to it, and then I add the stuff. So here we're going to add new item, and it is just a class, and it's just called character packet. Okay, in character packet we gotta prep everything. Grab our standard set of includes. I understand they're not all used all the time, blah 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 blah. Somebody mentioned that to me. They're like, we don't use all the includes. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. I also hate being hamstrung by them. Like, it's just really annoying to me when it's like, oh, this doesn't there, and then I gotta figure out what include gets used. It's just annoying to me, and trying to do that on a tutorial is rough. Now, doing what I'm doing will increase your build times rapidly, so just understand that if you want to drop your build times, you can drop the includes to only what you actually need in each file. You can divide up your namespaces. Sorry. You can do a lot of things to keep your build times down. I'm just not worried about it for the tutorial. It is something that I do as my build times start going from near instant to 5, 10, 20 seconds, right? So on and so forth. So those are things you can do. I don't do them here in the tutorial, but as you can see, these are all grayed out. Right now, you could remove all of these things. Z-Engine will not be removable, but it tells you, like, let's go here, and then let's come up here, and then let's go there. So it's using link in here, framework, and graphics, and it's using all of those ones. The grayed out ones it doesn't think they're using. It's almost always correct, so you can trust it pretty well. Okay. In our character packet, we need a couple things. Sorry for the side notes there. We need an integer for the new game state that we're going to be entering. Int new game int new game state equals, well, shouldn't be setting anything in there. Public string class string skin string. Okay, int state string class string and string skin string. Okay, so new game state equals state class string equals, how it knows these things. Very intelligent. At the same point in time, it's annoying. Yeah, that's what we want. Sweet. Maybe I'll get better at using it, and then I won't complain about it so much. But that's almost creepy that it knew which ones went together. I know the rest of my code all works the same way, so it's obvious, I guess. And I guess the more you stick to the way you work, the smarter it's going to be. But all right, this is our packet. It grabs all this information. Let's start inputting that in our new character screen. So when we hit submit, right now it's just calling this delegate. We don't want that. We need more than that. We need to be able to edit some information before we call that. So we're going to call that start game. So public virtual void start game. And this is going to be object info. Okay. Start game is going to eventually call the play del. There we go. Right now we're just going to write null in here, but that's not going to stay there for long. I just don't like it erroring at me. Cool. I don't know why that stayed white, but whatever. Doesn't matter. I thought that would change color. Okay. The next thing we're doing is to create a new character packet. So we hit submit. We create the packet from the information we have. So character packet packet equals new carrier packet. Character packet. Sorry, not carrier packet. Character packet globals dot convert to int info. Why info? Okay, so info, what we passed into here, is literally the state we needed to go to. So we need to change this else out to start game. Okay, if this was correct to begin with, as a 1, then it's also correct here. I'm actually pretty sure it's supposed to be a 2, now that I think about it. Because we're already doing that. Oh, no, not here. Gameplay. Not there. Probably should be also penned. No, 1 is fine. 0, 1. Okay, yep, that's fine. Totally fine. 1 will work. There we go. Okay. So it'll pass the 1 in, and then eventually it'll get back to there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to continue to create this guy. And we're going to run into an issue here, and we'll address it in just a second. So we need, notice we need the class string, right? So to get the class string, we need it from class selector. And class selector dot selected, but that's the iteration that is selected. And outside the subscript dot value. What did I do wrong? Class selector dot options. And the selected option dot value. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but for skin, and it's going to complain at us. Notice it doesn't like this. And then think for a second on why it doesn't like that while I finish this up. Switch them all out to skin selector. Okay, so the answer is if we look at this, we have a why does it think it's out of range? That's not right. The issue here, the real issue here, is that it can't convert an object to a string. Okay. Now we have the convert to end. We need to go and do a convert to string. I'm just gonna copy paste real quick. Convert to string. And then this, I think, is just the convert to string. Yeah. It's very simple. There's nothing crazy about it. We just need this. I didn't like that. Maybe I build it. Maybe it's crazy. Huh. I think this is full of crap. Hold on. I think these other errors are giving us the problem. So sometimes it does that. Globals dot convert to string. Sometimes if you have errors in your programming, it can't get past them for some reason, and so it just won't give you the proper stuff. So now if I do that and then I build it, let's see what it does. Nope, it still doesn't like. That's really strange. Oh, public static string. Oh, copy paste errors. All better. Okay. All right, that converts us to a string. And then our character packet. Yeah, we're way over in time, but that's why I'm splitting this up. We have this character packet. Now we pass packet into the play delegate. The play delegate goes to gameplay and goes here, go to definition. So now we have to say character packet temp packet equals that. Creepy how good that is sometimes. Okay, and then state now is temp packet dot sorry, new game state. That should get us here. So if we put a breakpoint right here and we hit build, or run program, and we come here and we have play, and then we switch this to warrior and this to the circle, we should be able to see that in our data there. So when I hit start game, it's going to hit the breakpoint, and inside our packet we should have mage, good, and the third skin, that is correct, and switch to game state 1. That is correct. If I let this go, it should cancel out the screen to nothing. Perfect. That is our basic pipeline. Let me go over that pipeline really quickly. What do I mean by the pipeline? Well, the new character pipeline, new character screen pipeline, is to take in data from our form options or any kind of piece that we can get information from. It is to then put it into a packet and pass it back to our gameplay. Now, see, gameplay takes in the packet, and right now it just switches the state. But we have all the information we need to create another packet. So if we take this packet and we pass it into a class that deals with a level or whatever, then it can create that character from that information. We will get to that next tutorial. However, this pipeline is in its infancy completed. You could now do that straight away if you so chose to create the game from that. We are going to take a little bit longer to get there because I want to do more with my character screen than just pick a skin and a class. I want to assign at minimum attributes. Eventually we'll do more and more and more with this screen, but I want to at least get the basics to where they're more than the bare bones. Put a little bit of meat on the bones for you guys. Okay, that is it for today. If you made it this far and you haven't hit the like button, really please consider hitting the like button. It doesn't hurt anything. It won't hurt you, but it will really help me. If you think that there's even one of my almost 65 different tutorials that is also going to help you, consider hitting that subscription button. Again, it doesn't hurt you, but it definitely helps me. I'm not going to be polluting your feed or anything crazy. At most, I'm getting one a week, usually one every 2 weeks of these tutorials. So it's not like I'm going to be jamming stuff into your feeds. But, it means a lot to me, and it kind of keeps me going and makes me, more likely to keep pushing this out. Right now, obviously, I'm very enthused about this, which is why I've gotten a second one out so quickly. I am going to try to get through this. I love getting the meat, the potatoes of this kind of stuff. I'm really looking forward to getting into some graph generation or some grid generation with some basic levels. We're going to start with really basic stuff, and we're going to kind of improve that system over and over and over again. So I'm really looking forward to that. Generating levels from essentially scratch. We're going to start with it really basic, and we'll get much, much more complicated. But for now, that's where we're at. I'm really looking forward to this kind of stuff. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I will see you guys next time. Have a great night. Bye.